If you're sitting bored in your cab all day and you need something to get you through your day, check out Sweat and Grime on any of your podcasting platforms. We geared it to be entertaining and focused on the trades. We're not trying to teach you anything. We're not trying to get you to have a phenomenal working business. We just want you to have a good time. So check us out, Sweat and Grime, on any of your podcasting platforms. We appreciate it. Now, here's your video. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today's Down and Dirty, we're going to talk about a topic that just plagues our industry. It's why you shouldn't lowball. Don't be a bottom feeder. And this is why. Because at the end of the day, you're not just hurting your competition, you're hurting yourself. So let's walk through a scenario. We went through and we calculated all of our costs to go dig a basement. In this basement, let's say the average going rate is 12 grand to get this basement dug. But by God, you're one of those smart guys that decided that running 1984 equipment, that old smoky excavator that can't even dig a straight freaking line because she's so womped out, you went and picked that beauty up for 11 grand. And you didn't get any sort of insurance because who needs that? That's for suckers. You got your old ratty ass 1980 Chevy 2500 that you got to lift on. My God, you are outfitted and ready to rock, and you got your whole business set up for like 15 grand because you're that smart. And then because you were so smart, you went to this basement and you told the builder, hey, I know that guy down the road, he's going to charge you 12 grand. I can do it for 4. By golly, look at you go. You started your company and you are just beating out all the competition because you have been so smart. Here's what you're actually doing. Now the builder has an expectation that it's going to cost 4 grand to dig a basement. Going forward, it's going to only cost him 4 grand to dig a basement. And you, because you did such a good job, you've become his dirt guy. But the problem is you've done pretty well for yourself. By golly, that new skid steer sitting there on the dealer lot's looking awful pretty, isn't it? And so you decide to go buy that new skid steer. Turns out that skid steer has a significantly higher running cost than that old womped out excavator you've been running. And so you have to increase your prices with Mr. Home Builder. Mr. Home Builder is not going to be happy with that because you told him 4 grand for the basement dig and now you're telling him 6 for the next one. Why did your price increase? You have killed the market because all of your competition who's digging that basement at 12, and by the way, I know these are dramatically inflated or deflated numbers. The point still is the same. All of your competitors are no longer able to compete with you because you have dropped the bottom out of the market because you were so eager to scoop up all that work. But now you screwed yourself because your builder's not going to continue to use you if over the next month and a half or year and a half or 5 years, you keep ratcheting your price up because you're trying to grow your company and you can't grow it on the shoestring budget that you just gave the builder to go do his work or any of your other customers for that matter. But what you have done is you've set the builder's expectation that all of these other companies that are charging him 12 grand to dig a basement, well, they must be overcharging him. They must be massively inflated. I'm not going to pay 12 grand. And so now you've burned a relationship with your builder because at some point the switch is going to flip to where you have to charge at least 8 grand to go dig that basement that you told him a year ago it was 4 grand. Mr. Builder gets pissed at you. You've lost that customer. But now Mr. Builder isn't going to want to go pay someone 12 grand to dig that basement. He's going to want to pay 8 or 10. And so the whole industry just sucked their margin down. This is the problem that's happening in our industry day in and day out. And unfortunately, it has a lot to do with a lack of qualifications to get into the business. Let's be honest. If I want to go become an electrician and do electrical work, I got to go through an apprenticeship program. I have to get my electrician license. I have to get my master electrician license. And if I want to go out on my own, I've got to do XX. We set a bar there. And as a result, the industry recognizes if you've put all that work and effort in, you're not going to go charge 20 bucks to wire a house. If you think about plumbing, it's the exact same way. You have to go through all of these certifications to actually go do the work. To become a good diesel tech, You're going to have certifications and qualifications. And as a result, no one's going to charge bottom dollar. But the dirt industry is beautiful because I can go down to a dealership tomorrow. I can buy a skid steer, I can buy an excavator, and I can buy a nice little truck. And boom, I'm in business. Or I could go to Facebook Marketplace and I can buy a heap of junk and a heap of junk truck and a heap of junk excavator. And now I'm also in business and I can charge whatever I want. That's why you don't bottom feed. That's why we don't go unbelievably low on pricing. Now, is it okay to offer some discounts to really loyal customers? 100%. Is it okay to break into a market by offering slightly lower prices? Understandable. But when you are substantially lower than everyone else in your area and you're using your crappy equipment and your lack of proper insurance and proper coverage, which by the way is protecting you as much as it is your customer, you need it, guys. All you're doing is hurting the overall industry, including yourself. And the sad thing is most of the guys that come out and do this end up going bankrupt because they have no idea how to run a business. They have no idea what their real costs are. They don't charge enough and they can't sustain their company. So they go out of business, but the price impact still happened and it still remains, which is why there are no freaking margins in our industry, guys. The more you bottom feed, the more you try to break in here and gouge people for the lowest price, the more it hurts the industry and the thinner everybody's margins get. So that is a very quick high-level overview as to why you don't bottom feed and you don't try to break into the industry by getting everybody out by doing it for nothing, is because it ultimately hurts you just as much as everybody else. So as always, thanks for watching. We'll catch you on the next Down and Dirty.